The US dollar is about to nosedive in a way that we have never seen before. And in October, something big is about to happen, and Russia and China are cracking their fingers right now because the global world order is being restructured right before our eyes. A nail in the US dollar coffin. So what happens in October? I'll get there in a minute with some pretty stunning news that we've been predicting here on this show for at least the last 2 years. I take no joy in this, by the way, but Biden's sheep are about to be slaughtered. The liberals who say that everything is fine in the economy, the people that, watch CNN or MSNBC, not you guys, of course, the preppers who watch my show. You guys have been prepping, and of course, they make fun of you for prepping. Our world's coming to an end. Help us, Jesus.
The country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better. It's stronger.
I've been warning you about this for 2 years, that this is coming. And I see it in the comments thread. I read every comment you guys post there. You guys have been taking action. You're already preparing your family. So you and I are going to come out far ahead on this, thank goodness. But let's get back to the big news here. In the next few months, everything changes for the US dollar. That's not me saying this. This is coming from every economist that I trust. And there's only a handful of them that I do. It's coming from the very same people that accurately predicted the tsunami that hit in 2008. Congressman Ron Paul, who ran for president of the United States, no one would listen to him. Ron Paul warned us all that the 2008 collapse was coming. He warned us in 2003. They called him nuts. He was right, of course. But back in 2008, he also gave us another huge warning that no one paid attention to, and it's now coming true. This is Ron Paul in 2008. Watch.
And to me, the more amazing thing right now is not only has the financial system collapsed, which is very, very bad and very dangerous, I believe that what we're moving toward now is the collapse of the dollar. And the collapse of a dollar, because it's the international reserve currency, I think is going to be much worse than what we have already witnessed.
Yeah, Ron Paul warning all of us that a US dollar collapse is inevitable. And now we have breaking news that we just learned about this weekend from Russia and China. We now know, without a shadow of a doubt, that the BRICS nations are officially ending their ties to the United States dollar as a reserve currency. According to multiple sources close to the BRICS planners, it will officially happen in October at their summit meeting, where they will make that declaration. Now, they could do a soft declaration ahead of time, we don't know, but according to sources close to BRICS, they will also announce their new currency at the time. Just let that sink in for a moment, guys. Brazil, Russia, China, India, South Africa, and dozens of other countries which are now joining BRICS will officially end settling transactions in US dollars and instead use a new commodities-backed currency. And according to the news this weekend, BRICS will, quote, sway other countries to ditch the US dollar by uplifting local currencies for trade, as well as developing a new currency system that would rival the US dollar. Experts, of course, say that the US dollar is less attractive now that the US is facing rising inflation, has unrelenting debt on its hands. Russia says that US is unloading its inflation on other countries, holding their dollars. Just look at Japan, which is collapsing.
Вот-вот обрушится доллар. Если доллар обрушится, что произойдет? У них же на бумажке вся экономика. Надо, напечатали доллары. Говорят, если много денег, инфляция. Плевать, инфляция на нас ложится. Сейчас ни доллары, ни евро никому не нужны. И это уже не только в Беларуси и России. Это во многих странах.
And then this weekend, we have yet another country announcing it wants away from the US dollar. The Maldives wants to settle transactions in BRICS currency. So just since 2007, federal debt held by the public has surged from $4.6 trillion to an astonishing $27 trillion. Overall government debt is now surpassed $34 trillion. Just look at this chart that Game of Trades put together to paint a picture. In over 200 years of history, we saw this and then boom. Guys, there are so many bad signs right now for Biden's sheep that I can't even fit them all into this video. But here are two more little data points for you. China and other BRICS nations saw this coming years ago, so they started dumping U.S. treasuries, unlike Japan. U.S. allies, though, like Japan, didn't do that. And now they're facing disaster because it's basically gotten too close to the U.S. dollar. It touched the sun and it got burned. Now Japan's economy is collapsing. They have no young people. No one is having babies in Japan. The same thing is happening in the United States thanks to Biden's inflation and money printing. America's fertility rate plummeted to its lowest level in a century just this past year. That means the government and the Fed have to keep printing money to counter that demographic cliff that's coming. It's about to get a whole lot worse. But back to Japan. for a moment. Japan is the largest holder of U.S. debt. They were thinking of selling, but then the U.S. panicked, and Jerome Powell of the U.S. Fed held a secret meeting with Japan's central bank to make a secret deal. We'll prop up your yen if you don't sell off our dollar. Now that plan has collapsed.
We've seen a reversal as the yen has began to collapse again to almost 156 yen per dollar. This spells disaster for Japan and the U.S. potentially, as Japan is the largest holder of U.S. treasuries.
Guys, the U.S. dollar is a Ponzi scheme because they just keep printing more money, just like Bernie Madoff. A Ponzi scheme only works until people want their money back or they want out of the deal, and then it all comes crashing down. Former Fed Chief Alan Greenspan explains how this scheme worked.
Are U.S. Treasury bonds still safe to invest in?
Very much so. I think this is not an issue of credit rating. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that.
Again, it works until the music stops playing, until inflation hits, until BRICS nations ditch your Ponzi scheme and build a new currency on gold and oil. That's what just happened. The other big part of this is the collapse of Western banks. One bank per month is now collapsing. Go right now and try to get some money out of your local bank to make a purchase. Like you want to buy a used car, you need a few $1,000s out of your account. Chances are you'll be told that the money isn't there, or you cannot withdraw your money at this time, come back in 8 days. Why? Because they don't have it. Like this guy who started filming on his iPhone when he went into his local branch. He needed cash out of his account to buy a used car. He needed a few $1,000s to make the purchase. He was told no.
What is this? It's my money. I'm allowed to withdraw from my own bank account. Yeah, so you said what's the maximum limit you can give a withdrawal to a customer? It's $3,000 on the day. You've already mentioned that multiple times.
Yeah, not today.
Why not today?
Today I would need the extra or would get it invoice.
But what, you need proof of what it is? Why is that? And why is that?
It's his money. They don't have it. Godfrey Bloom, author and fund manager, says go out right now, get your money out of these banks. These banks are insolvent, and we are facing a dark age in the West. Guys, I've been warning you about this for 2 years on our show. Ron Paul has been warning us since 2008. So there's no excuse not to be ready for this. The Biden sheep are in trouble. So that's the news update part of the video. Now pay attention because I'm going to show you something that you probably never even thought of investing in before. Something until recently I never invested in until I saw this headline from ZeroHedge.com. The demand for tin is strong. Tin was the best performing base metal of Q1 of 2024. That's right, the best right now in this year. That's the perfect storm for me to invest in my book. So you guys know I love precious metals, actual tangible things to invest in. I love gold, I love silver, I love copper, I love nickel, and tin has not been part of my portfolio until I learned about the sponsor for today's video, American. Now here is their ticker on your screen. Now once I learned what this company was doing, I asked them to sponsor today's video. Wait until you see what I found going through their financials. Now take a look at this. It's my personal view right now that their share price is very cheap. Look at this share price. As of this recording, it's only 15 cents a share. 15 cents for one share of the company. I love buying mining stocks when I believe they are undervalued and cheap. Let me tell you why this company, American, has impressed me so much. First of all, tin is used in a multitude of crucial industries and in many of the things you're using right now, from energy, right? The solar panels to SpaceX rockets, airplanes, your cell phone. Do you have a smartphone? Your phone contains tin. The demand for the metal is rising, and very few are even talking about tin. There's not even an ETF on Wall Street that you can even invest in if you wanted to get exposure to tin. You can't. This company, American, is one of the only pure play tin stocks available for investors if they want to invest in tin and they want to take advantage of this exposure in this bull market right now. So listen to what American just did. This is amazing. The company has just announced that it's in a process of acquiring the largest European-based producer of tin. The company expects its market capitalization after the acquisition to be approximately $22 million. Now, the seller has already spent tens of millions of dollars of bringing this mine into production, yet American is planning on acquiring it for roughly $6 million. So this is not a typo. You heard me right. American believes it can resume production on this mine and become profitable shortly after completing the acquisition of this other company. Just so you understand, they haven't even closed on the deal yet. The final two steps are a financing and a shareholder vote, and those are both slated to happen anywhere within the next 45 days at the most. Now, if all goes according to plan, Iberoamerican will then own the largest tin mine in all of Europe, and they believe they will be able to further increase revenue by then ramping up production and improving the quality of the tin concentrate. Now, I don't just search for good companies, okay, and good projects. I hunt them. I hunt companies with high-level management, and a management team of Iberoamerican is top-notch in my view. You know, that's how I invest. I want to invest not only in the projects and the companies, I want to invest in the management team. So the chairman, for instance, his name is Gene McBurney. He's the co-founder of a Canadian company with an ultra-successful track record. It's called GMP Securities. You can look it up. In fact, McBurney is the M in that name, in GMP. Now I'm talking, he's one of the best as far as I know. So why would Gene McBurney, who I regard as a legend in this industry, become a chairman of Iberoamerican's board? Is it because they're acquiring a distressed tin miner in Spain? Why would he do that? Why would he get involved so early in this cycle? Well, there's one logical answer as far as I'm concerned, because he thinks shareholder value can be unlocked. And because he himself is a shareholder. He has skin in the game. He personally stands to gain. Once this transaction is completed in the coming weeks, you know, look at McBurney for yourself. Do your homework. So he has skin in the game. I love when managers have that skin in the game. You'll see what I'm talking about. Next, I want to talk to you about David T. Young. He is also part of the management team at Iberoamerican. He was a principal at the Carlyle Group. Yes, one of the largest private equity firms in the world. They manage assets for some of the richest people and the richest countries in the world. Now, when he was at Carlyle, he led their natural resources division, managing over $4 billion. And just so you understand, just to be head of that division is remarkable. So I personally consider David to be among the top people in the mining sector, and he's on the board. Again, ask yourself, how did an early stage company like Iberoamerican attract this caliber of talent to it? Why would Gene McBurney, David Young want to be associated with Iberoamerican? Well, that's easy. The primary reason someone of that caliber would get involved in an early stage company is because he sees tremendous upside potential. So again, guys, right now I'm pouring money into commodities from gold, silver, copper, nickel, tin. And this is my only pure play in the tin sector right now, adding to my portfolio. And I'm always trying to bring these companies to you before they start production. That's where we could see the most upside from a shareholder perspective, historically speaking. So guys, go out there and do your own due diligence on this company, and I'll have links to their website in the description below, and I'll see you next time, everyone.